to the Sallie Tomato YouTube channel. I'm Jess, and today I'm going to show you how to make Poppins, our spacious tote bag pattern. Use Poppins as a reusable shopping bag, beach bag, or everyday carry-all. This minimalist design is beginner-friendly and offers generous carrying capacity. It's equipped with a convenient interior slip pocket and comfortable handles and straps. Slip your keys and other small items inside the pocket for quick access. The handles and straps provide two ways to carry this bag, including a hands-free option. The name of this pattern was inspired by the classic and lovable Mary Poppins and her magical bag that was filled with more than the typical bag can carry. What's unique about this pattern is that there's no lining, hardware, or zippers used. Simply choose a fabric that doesn't fray, such as cork fabric or faux leather. These durable, lightweight materials make this bag easy to fold down and store, so it's conveniently ready when you need it. Be sure to purchase the pattern before taking this class. The pattern and your supplies can be purchased from our website or request them at your local quilt shop. Please remember to shop local whenever you can. So say goodbye to using plastic bags and reach for the spacious Poppins pattern. Let's get started making this eco-friendly bag. First, let's gather your supplies. We'll be leaving this entire project raw edge, so fabrics you can use are cork fabric, faux leather, or Craftex, or any other fabric that doesn't fray. You'll need a piece of main fabric, which will be used for the exterior of the bag. You'll also need contrast fabric, so this will be used for the handles, base, slip pockets, and optional tassel. Cut out all your pieces according to the pattern. You'll also need some helpful notions. You'll need a spool of sulky 40 weight poly deco thread. This is a polyester thread that has a really nice shine. It's durable for piecing and top stitching this entire project. You'll also need some Clover Wonder Clips. These are great for holding the layers together and all the thickness. Chalk or removable pen, basting tape, paper tape, a stiletto. My favorite stiletto is from Clover. It has a rubber end which grips to the fabric and then a pointed end for helping push the fabric through and holding specific areas. You'll also want a Teflon foot or a Teflon zipper foot. A narrow foot will work as well. If you want to make a tassel, you'll also need a hot glue gun and some glue or permanent glue. For this project, I'm going to be sewing on the Baby Lock Accomplish. This is a domestic machine, but it is as close to industrial as you will find. It's very strong and it's great at sewing through thicknesses. It only does a straight stitch, but it's a very powerful machine. You can use it for bag making, quilting, garment sewing, pretty much anything that you want to make. You can find this machine available for purchase on our website, or you can check your authorized retailer. Start by folding the top long edge of piece D slip pocket to the wrong side and top stitch that top folded edge. Please refer to your pattern for folding measurements and the stitch length and seam allowance. Use chalk or a removable pen to mark the placement line for the slip pocket on piece A back. Apply double-sided basting tape to the wrong side of your slip pocket on the sides and bottom edges. With wrong sides together, center the prepared slip pocket so the long bottom edge of the pocket is along that placement line that you marked. Then take it over to the machine and top stitch according to the pattern along the sides and bottom edge of the slip pocket. With right sides together, center one long edge of piece C base along the bottom long edge of piece A front. You can use some Wonder Clips to hold the layers together. Sew the pieces together, making sure to start and stop according to the pattern. Also, make sure that you backstitch the seam. After sewing at the beginning and end of the seam, Cut a vertical line up to the last stitch, but don't cut through or past the seam. Next, fold the base away from the front with the seam allowance pressed towards the base. Top stitch the base according to the pattern and make sure to back stitch and also start and stop according to the pattern. Next, you'll repeat the same process to attach and top stitch the opposite long edge of your base to the remaining piece A, which is your back piece. With right sides together, align the top and side edges of both piece A. Use some wonder clips to hold the side edges together. Sew each side together according to the pattern, making sure to backstitch. Next, finger press each of the side seams open and top stitch from each side of both seams. It's easiest to do the top stitching from the right side of the fabric with your bag still wrong side out. This top stitching will help the seam lay flat and shape the bag. With right sides together, match the bottom raw edges of the main fabric with the short edges of the base. The seam should be in the center, and add some wonder clips to hold the layers together. Sew the layers together according to the pattern to create boxed bottom corners. Make sure to backstitch each of the seams for reinforcement. After the corners are sewn, fold the top edge of the assembled tote to the wrong side and top stitch according to the pattern. You can add some wonder clips to help hold the fold. You could also use a seam gauge to make sure that the folded edge is even as you sew. I'm just going to eyeball it as I stitch around. You could also grab that handy stiletto to help fold over the fabric as you sew and guide it through your machine. After top stitching, turn the bag right side out. Next, you'll fold the bag in half, matching the side seams to find and mark the front and back top center. Then you'll also mark away from each of the side center marks according to the pattern. The next step is to make and attach the handles. Start by joining pieces B handle by placing the short ends right sides together perpendicular to each other and overlapping the ends a bit. Sew a diagonal seam from corner to corner. Trim the excess seam allowance to 1/4 inch wide. Then press the seam open and top stitch each side of the seam with an 1/8 inch seam allowance. Next, fold the handle in half, matching the short ends, and cut the fold to divide the handle into 2 equal lengths. Now you'll repeat the first steps to join the short raw ends of the handle to create a loop out of each handle. Then, with wrong sides together, fold each handle in half lengthwise, and you're going to top stitch an 1/8 inch from each length side. You can use some wonder clips to hold the layers together, or you can just fold it as you sew. After one handle is assembled, you repeat the same process to finish off the remaining handle. Fold each handle in half to find and mark the top center furthest away from the joins. Then you'll also mark according to the pattern away from each side of the center marks. You'll repeat to mark the other handle as well. Then, with right sides up, center one handle on the front with the inner raw edges of the handle against the opposite marks on the front, and the handle marks will be along the top stitching along the top edge. You can either use wonder clips or paper tape to hold the handle in place. Top stitch the handle in place by sewing a rectangle along your previous top stitching on each side of the handle. If you decided to use paper tape after you're done top stitching the handle down, you can simply just tear the paper away from the stitches. Then you repeat the same process to attach the remaining handle to the back of your bag. This next step is optional if you want to add a little bit more shape to the top edge of your bag. With wrong sides together, fold the top corners directly above the bottom corner. You're going to sew the layers together starting at the top edge and sewing down according to the pattern. One tip to make sure that you're folding directly above the bottom corner is to measure the distance at the bottom from the center seam to the corner edge. Then up at the top, you'll measure from the center seam outwards and you'll know where to fold the top edge of your bag. You'll repeat for all 4 corners of the bag. If you'd like to add a tassel to your bag, you'll use piece E tassel and piece F tassel connector to make a tassel. Please visit our YouTube channel for a video tutorial on how to make a tassel. After your tassel is assembled, simply thread the assembled tassel through the folded end of the connector and pull it tight to secure it on one side of the handle. Thanks so much for sewing with me today. I truly hope that you enjoyed this tutorial. If you enjoyed this mini pattern, I invite you to join our monthly mini club for only $5 a month and receive a new mini pattern to your mailbox or inbox every month. These mini patterns are designed for all skill levels and they are intended to be a quick sew project. Most patterns will include a free video tutorial on our YouTube channel. Share photos of your completed project using #SallieTomato and #PoppinsTote. We'd love to see how you're using your new minimalist bag. Thanks for watching and be sure to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on any future tutorials. And stick around for more inspiration.